Hey fam, what up? Born shining here. We're all born shining. You're born shining. I'm born shining. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Well, this is another drop, another third eye drop. Uh, Continuation of the previous videos and everything. First, I want to thank the universe. I want to thank Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, my spirit guides, my ancestors, and my spirit animals for all the guidance and support. And the community. I want to thank the community of gifted people, courageous individuals out there who are helping me piece all this stuff together. Um, I saw a video, Hood Mystic Tarot. She's awesome. She put out a video earlier today, or yesterday, and I really like listening to her insights. And but anyway, she was making me think. She reminded me of a lot of stuff I used to think about when I was a child, and a lot of things that I'm kind of maybe forgot about. And so, thank you, Hood Mystic, for reigniting those thoughts. But yeah, when I was a kid, when I was a small child, I don't know exactly how old I was, but I used to think about Jesus, and I used to think about that major discrepancy of how Jesus was a man, yet people thought that what he did was some kind of um, he was different or something. It just seemed like people weren't really listening. Um, but I always felt connected to him, and I always felt like I could do what he did. I believed that, and it made logical sense to me even as a child. I mean, if they're telling me that Jesus can heal people and that he was a man and that Jesus is in all of us, I mean, simple math means that we could do that too, but and especially as children, we grow up and we allow people to influence our thinking, and a lot of times I think even especially in my case, it it requires violence to achieve that. You have to beat it out of people. You've got to really shut it down because it's so natural. It's like it is not a choice. So how do you stop it? How do you stop a gifted child from wanting to help people? You just have to really convince them. And it kind of it makes me think about the ironies and paradoxes and contradictions and hypocrisy in the church, and the message there. um, I'm all about love and um, finding solutions and empowering people. And I feel like the church is really confused. It's kind of confused. On the one hand, where they try to say that we're all born in natural sin, but at the same time Jesus died for our sins. So which is it? How can Jesus have died for all of our sins, yet we're born in a natural sin and we're working the rest of our life to avoid doing something that's already been forgiven? Doesn't make any sense. Jesus himself was an outlaw. you know he wasn't he wasn't like favorable for the status quo, and that's why they killed him. Because could you imagine what two Jesuses would have done, let alone thousands of people waking up to that, or tens of thousands or millions of people waking up to that kind of power. How do you can't control that. And so what they did when they said that Jesus is inside of you and then they killed him is they basically said that if, and they showed us all, like, if you want to do what he did, then that's what you're going to get. And at a really young age, I was very attracted to people who I was attracted to people who were made into martyrs. I was attracted to people who tried to do good things in the world and ended up dying before their time, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. There's a lot I've learned a lot since then about those instances. Martin Luther King, Gandhi. I know that they're involved with, the stories aren't, the mainstream story is not the story that we've been told, but nevertheless, most people resonate with that story and that truth, and that these people tried to do good things, and that they were uh, dispatched, or however you want to call it, executed, assassinated, whatever. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But the idea that has instilled in people is real. And that is, if the fastest way to get yourself taken out is to try to make positive changes in the world. And so when you're a kid and you recognize that early on, you recognize that when you're, before high school, it really, at least for me, kind of questioned my commitment to the cause, you could say. How serious am I about the cause? And my parents, both of my parents were active duty Marines when I was born, allegedly, if I'm going on what I was told. And the story that I would, my story, my parents were active duty Marines, and my mom had been through boot camp before I was born. And since I've learned that whatever the mother has experienced is passed on to the child. So, for all intents and purposes, I was born to a trained killer. I was born to a trained killer. And my mom, to this day, is a marksman, handles her pistol regularly. And so it's kind of a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, I've always felt like I needed to fight. I've always needed to fight. And so maybe that's the darker side of it. But, recently I've been, from getting the information on the tarot and what's happening in the community, it seems like that innate will to fight is what's saving me. And I guess it's just a question of what are you fighting for? I say the battles always need to be fought, but you need to choose your war. What are you fighting for? And yeah, so being a child, feeling close to Jesus, and it's like you can't beat it out of me. They're not going to be able to stop it. It's not even, I mean, it's not even like I don't try to quiet the voice or anything like that, but it's not something that can be silenced, and it's not something that can be quelched or covered up. And I'm not gonna let it. And so all these people, it's kind of funny, all these people who are trying to come after me or want to see me fail. It's like you don't even know who I am. And like if you would have been paying attention this whole time, like you would have seen how ridiculous that idea even is. Just the idea. Trying to come after me and bring me down and sink me because I want to help people. It makes me think about like a couple other things real quick. Makes me think about, I wonder, do butterflies recognize the caterpillar? Would I recognize my old self? Or would I even be in a space to run into my old self? Would I recognize that person? I don't know. Interesting thought. And then the other idea that I was thinking of is, it's like, what do you think in nature you would ever see, a mama bird looking at one of her baby birds and getting jealous because of the baby bird has some different colors on it or something, or it has thinks that, maybe it has a more beautiful song. It's kind of bizarre how dysfunctional humans are in a way. I mean, it's not natural. It's not natural. And that alone is very telling. You know, there's some kind of other influence here preventing people from connecting with their true self, with their true nature. It's not natural. Anyway, it's just some thoughts. I'll have more later. But thanks for listening. I hope you guys are having a great day. Love. Peace.